Alright, what's going on, guys? Fox here, and this is just another episode into my Slayer series. There's a couple of things I'd like to talk about. I'd like to talk about the recent updates, the buffs, and the increases to armor and all this other crazy stuff. As you guys have seen, they've actually increased the armor capabilities and the differences between all of them. Now the subjugation top, the armadyl chestplate, and the bandos. I don't think the bandos chestplate has a boost. I could be wrong about that, but they are supposed to have a strength bonus to them now. I think maybe bandos just has a set effect, but they also changed around some of the Barra's set effects, such as Torags and Carols had really shitty abilities that no one cared about or even thought of. Like, if you ask someone, I can guarantee there'd be that one person that's just like, wait, those even have abilities? No one uses them. Like, they're so unimportant, it's ridiculous. But Varrock's Varrock the Defiled, I believe his name is, his ability, armor ability now is fucking, what was it? You randomly hit harder, whereas Darrock's the lower your HP is, the higher you hit. Varrock's ability is that you just randomly hit harder. It's sort of like it's almost like getting a crit. But dear God, I'd hate to see that thing get a crit and its armor ability activated. That'd be powerful. But what's unfortunate about it is that you have to have the entire set, so you have to use Varrock's weapon. And I have not checked out the Barrow's weapons in the EOC yet, but I would imagine it's not that great if it's level 70 gear. Even though subjugation robes are amazing. The only reason I have subjugation robes instead of Gano is because I was soloing Zami for like 6 or 7 hours, right? Which I'll have a tutorial of how to solo Zami up soon because it's so easy now. I was soloing there for like 6 or 7 hours, didn't get a single drop, but I had an inventory full of like rune items and noted herbs and snapdragons and torstals and stuff like that, just because I was there for so long. And I lagged out, and I was just like, oh my God, I'm gonna die, right? So for some strange reason, I couldn't sign in for a little while. But then when I did finally sign in, I was still alive. And, I was loading up my player, and then it said loading 50%. And I was like, oh, that's great. It gets stuck at loading 50% a lot for me. So I just exited out, and then I brought up Runescape again, just crossed my fingers that I didn't die. And, of course, I am back in Lumbridge with nothing in my inventory but my amulet, which is the stupid dungeoneering magic one, the arcane stream necklace. And, obvious stuff like my aura and things like that. I have my runes, which I found odd that it dropped. It keeps runes, which I actually did not know that, but it dropped my Gano, it dropped all the noted things that I had, it dropped so much stuff. It was so depressing for me to come back to that. But, yeah. So there's my story behind why I have subjugation robes. But anyways, I'd like to talk about the additions to the game. I really do like that they're making things exponential, because there really was barely any sort of difference in the next levels of gear. Like, the difference between Armadyl and Royal was just so minimal. It was really, I don't even know why I bought Armadyl. I think I just bought Armadyl because it looked better. That's probably the only reason I bought it. And it's just kind of crazy how there's really no jump in between levels. Now, it looked like the life bonuses are still the same, and if they aren't the same, then they're only slightly tweaked because I don't really notice it. And it looks as though I'm just under, oh shoot, my thing, I saw my money up. It looks as though I'm just under, at my max, I'm just under what it used to be for Gano, which was like slightly over 8,000, like 8,100 something. And when I wear Gano now, it's 8,150, so I'm thinking that didn't change. And when I wear Subjugation, it's like 7,900. Now, yes, Gano does have around 1,000 more armor in each piece, well, on the body anyways, but that means you can just sort of take that scale and apply it to the others. But it's got around 1,000 more armor to it. So it is definitely better, but it's degradable, and I don't know. I like the subjugation robes. It's something new to look at. It's got a prayer bonus, and I've been using Gano for years. Well, not years, but for the longest time now. It's just boring to look at. But yeah, it looks like subjugation is actually doing really well. I do hit a lot higher. I think this is more offensive than Gano. I could be wrong. I need to test that actually. But you know what? Let's look it up right now. Alright, so I'm back and I'm dumb. Obviously, gear only gives you a defensive bonus and not an offensive bonus, but the strength bonus does make it stronger, so that's about it. Anyways, yeah, so the bonus, what they actually did when they messed up the buffs to all the monsters while they added the buffs to the gears, they made, they supposedly, made God Wars bosses more difficult, which I don't think they did that. I think all they did was give them more HP, because I go there and I solo it perfectly fine. If I have penance and soul split, I could sit there forever. I'm not even kidding. I actually did this when I was sitting for my 6-hour thing. Whenever I ran out of soul split, or no, I did this more than once. So, whenever I ran out of my penance aura, I would just log out and just go do something else for like 3 hours and come back once penance is restored and just destroy everything. Because I would just soul split, you know, leech everything because penance just is that helpful. And a bunch of other stuff. If they nerf it, I'll be so sad. I'll be able to still be able to solo, of course, but it'd be a lot less, you know, a lot less easy. So I honestly think that all they did was increase HP. And some people are saying that they didn't really do anything at all, which is not true. The only reason those players probably notice that they're not doing anything at all is because the update was not targeted to make it harder for us. It was targeted to make it harder for lower level players. So it's going to remain easy to us, which it was easy before the update, you know, before the buff, and now it's still slightly harder, but it's just because he has more HP. I haven't really noticed myself getting hit more. So, yeah. And then I have friends that, I know, I sat and duoed armadyl. That was still difficult. Armadyl was a little difficult. Not that, it was not that big of a deal, but, you know, I noticed how much more difficult Arma became. And so, yeah, that's about it for the buffs and on the monsters. You know, they overdid the ones on the Gano beasts and frost dragons, but they fixed it. Alright, so the next topic is going to be sort of a short one. I just wanted to sort of talk about this guy. I usually have my public chat off when I play RuneScape just because, you know, majority of the people that you meet or that you see on RuneScape are just like, they're just jerks. Like, I don't even bother. Like, outside of the people in my Skype chat that play RuneScape, it's a good number of them. It's like 20 people or something like that. In the people in my clan that are also in that Skype chat, I don't really talk to anybody in this game, like, unless they speak to me or if I'm in the same area as them doing a Slayer task or, you know, farming D-bones or frostbones or whatever. Sure, I'll be like, hey, what's up? You know, it's just sort of, it kills the boredom a little bit to talk to somebody if I'm not in a call on Skype already. And there's this guy in the Grand Exchange, he was in the conversation with someone else, and he said Jagex is ruining RuneScape. Now, I understand that Jagex has had some, you know, pretty bad decisions, or some, not really bad, but just arguable decisions that, you know, they could have done in other ways, such as, you know, releasing these new Dragora weapons. I don't like what they're doing with degradable weapons. I feel like the only damper on weapons should not be the fact that they degrade, because that's going to get really repetitive and really boring. But I also don't want to see weapons that don't degrade at all come out all the time, because then it will just continue to make things obsolete. So I think that, you know, to fix that problem, they should make weapons that are good for different situations. Like how the godswords have passive effects because of how they had abilities before. I think that they should give... Why am I not soul splitting? I think that they should give the Staff of Light a defensive effect, you know, because it had before that it would, if you use your spec, it would block a certain amount of damage or whatever. And I think that, you know, they should do that. So that's one thing. You know, Squeal of Fortune, all that other stuff. The list goes on. You know, they make a lot of mistakes. But the community, for some strange reason, just finds the need to complain about everything, even if it's something positive, which is absolutely ridiculous. Like when RuneScape HD came out, look at how much better. I'm in low quality, and this is way better than it's ever been in 2006, 2005, all those years. I would I don't understand what's wrong with this. Like this is amazing. I'm not even on mid quality. I usually play on mid quality, but since I'm recording, I have to do this, or the FPS gets all messed up. But I just don't understand the complaints that people are making. Like, it doesn't make sense. Yes, RuneScape is a lot more of an engaging game now, which is that's how it should be. It's an RPG. You should be engaged into the combat. You shouldn't click and just do nothing. This is me just doing nothing. We'd be doing this for hours without the EOC. Just chilling there. Remember that? Actually, no, I wouldn't even be doing this, because I wouldn't be able to mage. They actually made the other styles of combat viable. You can be a mage if you want. You can go out and be a ranger if you want. Look at how monotonous the game was if you were just in pre-EOC stuff. You know, you would just assume that you were going to melee, unless it was something like Nex or, you know, Armadyl or Sarah or something like that. Obvious things like that, where you'd be better off doing that. But other than that, for the most part, you're going to be ranging things, which is a little ridiculous. I mean, meleeing things, which is a little ridiculous. So I think it's pretty cool. I really like the EOC. I'm an advocate for the EOC. Obviously, there's things wrong with it, just like there were tons of things wrong with the original game. But they're going to fix it, or we're going to play through it like we did before. PvP, I did it, and I had fun with it, but I knew that it could be 10 times better than what it was. It wasn't even a contest of, like, who was better than the other person. You just sit and watch their HP bars. Who could watch their HP the best? That was it. You just sit there and eat food. Now you actually have to time things, because if the opponent's, you have to consider a lot of different things. You got to consider, okay, is my opponent using a shield? Okay, so he can use resonance. I got to be careful with when I use my ultimate, what ultimate I use, because if you're using magic and you use, what's it called? Which one is this? If you use this ability and they have resonance, they can see your character. Like, look at how long it takes for me to use this. Your character charges it up. They could use resonance and completely absorb it. So it's just a lot more engaging and more fun. You can do things instead of just watching your character do everything for you. Now you actually have a choice on what you want to do. Go out and mage, go ahead. Check out their weaknesses. He's weak to range, but I'm still doing all right with mage. I'd probably be doing better with range, but I'm not. I'm not using it. So that's just my opinion. I really don't think. Oh, I didn't even say what I thought of what he said. He said Jagex is ruining RuneScape. Well, I think the players are ruining RuneScape. We have very immature players that once they hear someone else say something, mostly because we have a very young audience, they will just crap, that stupid watch. They will just take whatever someone else, like a friend or something, says, or a famous YouTuber, what they say, and that's their opinion. They have no opinion of their own, and that's what they do. Yeah, there's some people out there that just know that they don't like the EOC. That's fine. I understand if you don't like the EOC just because it's. I really can't even find a reason for you to not like the EOC. I guess you could say it's people don't want to be engaged that much in the game, but still, I like it. It's so much. Look, and I can use momentum. They even catered to the people that like the older way. Use momentum if you really don't want to play the game the way it's supposed to be played. I feel like the EOC made this game play the way it was intended to play originally, and I just think it's pretty stupid that people are saying it's not RuneScape anymore. It's still RuneScape. I'm still on the Slayer task in the same place, using gear that I wouldn't have been able to use before just because of how flawed the system was. Now I can go on mage things, and I think it's just players that do it. They just assume Jagex doesn't know what they're doing, and whenever they make one mistake, that's just it. Like, oh no, that was a bad idea. Bad Jagex. Don't update that. Don't mess with this. You need to do this. Blah 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 blah. And that's really stupid. Like, they're the company. They made the game. They take our opinion and what's best for the game in general into account, and then make these updates. It's not just going to be them catering to your every whim. So I think it's the players that ruin RuneScape. RuneScape's dying because of the players. We're gonna get a new wave of players coming in, and thank God those people that were just crying about every single update left. And I really wish some of them would come back, like all the OG ones, like all the people that have been here for a long time, because it's nice to see players like that have been here for so long. But unfortunately, a lot of players are just crying and complaining as usual with any update that comes to this game. We get new weapons. I actually saw a video of somebody crying about them putting another boss in another. Like, he wasn't even giving valid points. He was just like, "Wow, Jagex is so stupid. They do stuff like this all the time. This is so dumb." And I'm just like, "What was dumb? Really? What was dumb about that? Like, bossing is like the center of this game." And yeah, I like to see them do more things for PvP and such, but we can't get everything we want. And of course, they'll do it eventually. But yeah, so that's going to about wrap up this video. I guess if you enjoyed this sort of vlog thing, I do like doing this Slayer series. You can go ahead and let me know, and I'll put up more of it. So, thanks for watching. This is Fox, and goodbye.